Hello everyone. I just have a small update today. All I did was I painted the area that I had previously fiberglass just so it would match and kind of would get a better idea of what the final result is going to be, or actually an interim result. So let me show you what I got. All right, so I just threw some orange paint on there so it would blend in. So it's easier to see what it's going to look like than before when it was kind of that dark because of the cardboard showing through. Okay. So again, that's nothing but tape, duct tape, painter's tape, and cardboard covered with a really thin layer of fiberglass cloth and then somewhat heavy fiberglass resin. Someone had mentioned the wheels. They didn't like the fact that the wheels are so tucked into the fender. Well, there's a reason for that. I designed this body around the Z06. It has, it's 4 inches wider than the standard Corvette, the C8. So it's 2 inches on each side. So if you can imagine, that wheel and tire would come out 2 more inches further than it is now. So it's not nearly as far in, or won't be nearly as far in as it looks. I also plan on getting larger diameter wheels and tires, but the disadvantage is by the time I get the larger diameter and wider wheels and tires, it's about $10,000 for the car. So I'm going to hold off on that till I get everything else done. Because once you order them, they're yours. So I need to make sure I get exactly the right size, the right width, right offset, all of that, since I am custom ordering the wheels, or I will be. Okay, so let's go around to the front so that you can see the side. Okay, let me show you what I've got a little bit closer. Okay, so it's rough, obviously. So again, all this is a thin layer of this fiberglass cloth. I think it's 1.5 ounce, I'd have to look it up, with some fiberglass resin like I did last time. Okay. And it is rough, but that was my intent, just to get it down. So when I put it in there, I thought I had the shape that I wanted. So I threw some paint on it. Now that I see the shape, I think I would like this area to be pushed in instead of out. Okay, I'm not positive. So what I did was, I thought it was not the way I wanted. I'm trying to do this without touching the button. I actually had this recorded, accidentally touched a button and it had stopped in the middle. So I'm redoing this. Okay, so what I did was I found whatever I needed, which in this case happened to be a small piece of 2x4, my fiberglass, and a ball. You can see the orange there. What I did was, this was sticking out, so I took this, put the ball in there, wedged this in there, and pushed it in because the fiberglass had not hardened and it wasn't real thick. So it was flexible enough that that went in some. So what I'm going to do next is put a thin layer of, well, I've got to sand this to rough up the paint so that the body filler will stick. I'm going to put a thin layer skim coat of body filler on this. I'm going to trim all this excess off, and I'm going to try to make it look like I want it to look. Now, one of the things is this has some structure to it because of the cardboard behind it. If you look right here, there's an area where there is no cardboard behind it. And if you look, it's flexible. The reason why is because it's only, again, one layer of this cloth and some resin. So theoretically, this is only 0.8 of an inch thick. So you think of it, anything that's 0.8 of an inch thick is not going to be really solid. So if I were to take this cardboard out from behind here, this whole piece would be just as flexible as this little piece right here. So what I'm going to do is put my skim coat over all of the part that I'm pretty sure is exactly like I want it to be. So all I'm going to do with it is, if you look at this, it's rippled. So I'm basically just going to put enough body filler in there so that when I sand it, it'll no longer have those ripples. It'll be nice and smooth as the rest of it. Again, I'm not trying to get it perfect. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put filler in this area right here. So once I get the area up here and down here smooth like I want it, then I'll look at this area in between and say, you can see it's kind of rough. You can see exactly where the ball was sitting because of the paint. So I'm going to smooth all this area out, and then I'm going to decide, once I get the rest of the surrounding area, exactly what I want this to look like. I suspect I'm going to want this pushed in. I'm not going to want this right here. I'm going to want to follow this depression exactly there and have it curve, follow this curve. See, it's a little more of a bump there. So this is going to be smooth. Once I pull the cardboard back, I can push all of these high spots in, put a skim coat of body filler on there, get it shaped like I want it. And without that cardboard, this will be just as flexible as that other part, so I can push it in and get this to look like what I want. Once I get that skim coat, the body filler is going to harden, and it's going to then be exactly like the cardboard on the back. So all of this will be as firm as it is here. Then once I get all of this to the shape I want, if I get it nice and smooth on the outside with the body filler, I will pull all of this off. Again, I sprayed this with PVA, so all of this will peel off relatively easily. And then I'll put fiberglass on the back side to give it back the stiffness that it has and the strength that it has right now with the cardboard. So I purposely only put one layer on here because I knew I would want to make adjustments after this was done. Okay, so that's the next thing I'm going to do, and might be late tomorrow, might be the next day. I have actual real work to do, so that's going to interfere. So anyway, hope to see you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye.